John is late. by 0.1 second, don't worry. All right, so I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of September 9th, 2019. We'll start with the approval of the agenda, please. Can someone move it?
So moved.
Can you second it?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Let's adopt the minutes next, please. Can someone move this item? So moved. Seconded. Thank you very much, Rob. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. I don't believe we have any delegations, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. So 5.1, Lauren, if you could outline the report.
Yes, Your Worship, this is to bring to council's attention that we are going to, that Mayor Bellini needs to be nominated or appointed as a voting delegate at the Municipal Insurance Association annual general meeting on September 24th. The MIA requires a motion appointing you to that position.
Someone to move it? So moved. Any seconded? Thank you. Any discussion? Any discussion from the gallery? Rock and roll. All in favor? None. Lisa?
Yes,
yeah.
sorry.
No, sorry, just making sure.
Apologize.
None opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 5.2.
Yes, Your Worship. The subject of designated anchorage area has come up over time in Belcarra, and I am now working with the court to put together a public information meeting that will be for the residents of Belcarra to come and provide their opinion. There will be some material here for them. The regular notification will be going out by email, by mail drop, etc. in a timely manner. So the date for the public information meeting is Thursday, October 3rd, and it will be at 7 p.m. in the Village Hall. So there will be more information to come on that later.
Can I have someone to move it? Second it? Whoever did move it, someone seconded it, please. Any discussion? Everybody from the gallery, good. This is just advising of the public information session. Good. All right. All in favor? None opposed? Bruce, you're good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I'm not here. I'm finally having a meeting.
Okay. All right. None opposed. Motion carried. On 6, reports from mayor and council committee representatives. I don't have a formal report. I don't think. I think this happened since the last actual council meeting. For those who didn't know from last town hall, I was appointed the Metro Vancouver representative for the Lower Mainland Local Government Association. I don't know why, but we are now responsible for speaking on behalf of Vancouver, Surrey, Richmond, every other municipality in the Lower Mainland. So nice that they trusted us with it. They may regret that sincerely. That's the only news that I've got. That's our first meeting on that is coming up at the UCM. It's always nice to have a seat at the table. Council and committee representatives, any other reports?
I don't have anything since the last meeting. We haven't had an early meeting for the tree committee. And the meeting this month, just so everybody knows, the tree committee was canceled. So,
excellent.
Our meetings are as well will be canceled.
It's a quiet month. All right. We can move right on. So 7.1. Lorna, would you like to speak to this?
Yes, Your Worship, this is the bylaw arising out of the public hearing, and the motion provides for the bylaw to be read a third time and adopted.
Thank you. Have someone move it?
I'll move.
Seconded. Thank you. Discussion. Council first. Any discussion? This is again what we have the public engagement forum just about. For those who arrived late, this is only regarding whether or not we're going to amend the OCP to allow for temporary user permits. Nothing about a specific approval. Okay, so it's just about allowing for temporary use permits. All right. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. Lorna, are we going to look at this next one then?
Yes, Your Worship.
So do I leave it out? What do you recommend?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay, Okay, so next item then, based on the fact that we just passed the current agenda item, is subject to the adoption that we just made of the Village of Belcarra official community plan bylaw number 435/2011, amendment bylaw number 501/2019, the following motion will be considered. And that motion is that a resolution under section 493 of the Local Government Act to issue a temporary use permit for 8 Corners, Canada be approved. Now this is moving forward, it's not a final approval, this is just moving it forward now so staff can continue to work on it. So, before discussion happens, can I get someone to move it, please? So move. Seconded?
Second.
Thank you. All right, any discussion around the next steps of this temporary use permit being approved for staff to start working? Okay, can I open to the gallery as well?
Yeah.
Any comments, questions? So, you know, this isn't the first you've heard of it, obviously, so we're still moving on the track and still have a ways to go, but this is just continuing the process. Did you want to say something?
Can we talk about the timing after what we heard in the public hearing, or how long the permit will be?
Oh, certainly. The temporary use permit is for 2 years, with the feasibility or the option to renew it for another 2 years, the council will have. And there are a list of items that need to be worked through before this would be allowed, but this allows staff to continue working on this application.
Clarification, please, Jim. Up to 3 years, right?
Yes.
Okay, because you said 3 years, that's one. Thank you.
Sure.
Sherry Chisholm. I think Bruce, she just answered my question. It doesn't necessarily mean it was 3 years. It could be as little as 6 months or a year.
It has yet, the terms have yet to have final approval. The original discussion was 3 years because of, as Lauren has alluded to, there's an enormous amount of approvals required in advance of the use permit being able to be issued, including like park approval and Metro Vancouver approvals. And so the idea was to give enough time so that the temporary use permit wouldn't expire while those negotiations are happening.
So there's a park approval for this?
Because the access road is through the park.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what they're working on the assumption of, but there's still lots more to go.
Good.
Sorry?
At what point does the general public get to put forward items that we would like to see the proponent do to get this?
Lauren, is there another schedule? 1 second, caller.
I'm not sure. Laura?
Well, they did work the public information lunch, and that was and that corresponds, I believe, with the part of the agenda. And that was the public, that was sort of the primary opportunity to provide feedback on feelings around or thoughts about temporary permit.
That comes through.
The public, they hosted a public meeting, through the chair, sorry. They hosted a public meeting.
So it may not have presented the opportunity for feedback that everybody would like to have. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I have a couple items that I think are very important, and I haven't read anything in any of the reports that listed items that people in the village might be concerned about.
Okay.
And it appears now that we're saying that we don't get to talk about it.
No, that's not the case at all.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about when
When is the appropriate time?
Yeah. So if it wasn't sufficient in the open house, we do need to be able to have a chance to hear the concerns. I mean, obviously, and I know a number of people have had this on their agenda for a long time to talk it through, so they're not throwing this at us at the last minute. So is it reasonable to have it just as a scheduled item on an agenda where we have an exhaustive interact about it, or do we need to have another session, or is it staff taking recommendations?
At this point, I would suggest that correspondence comes to me in that regard, and then we will see what it is that needs to be discussed, and we'll work with that.
I don't mind that, I'll tell you why. is that we can compile it all together for presentation all at once for discussion by council, as opposed to having it hit it separately in advance of the actual information report being sent to council. Is that reasonable?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, so next steps then are, for anybody who has anything they'd like to include in the conversation, please email Lorna, and Lorna will compile a list of the different pieces, and if it's enough that we need to schedule something separate, I think there's no reason not to consider that, but if it's simple enough where we think time-wise will be allowed, within an existing council meeting, we'll schedule with lots of notice an opportunity to have an exhaustive discussion on it. Comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, it won't be lost.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
No problem.
So that would be the terms and conditions of that temporary use permit.
In other words, back to we're not approving anything now, we're just advancing the conversation, so that will be in consideration. Okay? How are we doing, guys? Anything else on this? All right. Can I take a vote? All in favor? None opposed? Motion carried. 7.2 is a bylaw for adoption. Well, I usually describe these, but I'm happy to, shall I? Sure. This is the Belcarra Waterworks bylaw number 456. It's the amendment bylaw. Can someone move it? Seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just a minor, not even a discussion, a minor typo corrected.
Doesn't change the
No, not at all.
Okay. I didn't catch it.
You'd have to work to be confused by it, but you could be confused by it.
So it was confusing, I'm sure. Any questions from the gallery? Sure.
What is the amendment to the water law? Like what's the?
There's just a comment that's needed.
Oh,
That was mine.
Okay. Good.
Like I said, I didn't catch the
It's not
comment.
life threatening.
Okay, I'll allow it then.
2 or 3 lawyers could get excited in 5 years.
Yeah.
Hypothetical conditions that would all go wrong.
All right. All in favor? None opposed. Motion carried. So, item 8, we've got 14 pieces of correspondence, and we just want to move to receive these items. Seconded. Thank you very much. Would anybody like to pull any of these items for discussion? We do have a letter by Sherry. If Sherry would like to would you like to speak to your letter?
Well, it's there, my questions are there.
Would you like us to address your questions?
I would.
All right. I'm gonna pull it up. Do you have any?
No, I was gonna say, I'd like to address Sherry's letter.
8.9.
8.9, yeah.
Thank you very much. How do we go about addressing this?
Let's just vote on the motion if you'd like, Your Worship, and we will add 8.9 for discussion.
All right. If we're comfortable with that. Is there anything else people want to pull out in advance? Yeah.
Yeah, short-term rentals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is already.
That's actually pulled out already.
Pardon me.
For action.
Okay.
Think of these letters as a consent agenda. We're just really pulling shares at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's all in favor for that? Okay, none opposed, motion carried. Now, Warren, we can go to the letter now, or do?
Yes, now 8.1 is one of the action items, Your
Right.
Worship.
Do we go back to Sherry's letter now, though, or do we go after?
No, I think we should do it after,
Okay.
after her ship.
All right, so, declaration of waste reduction in Canada. Can we get someone to move the item? Moved. Thank you very much. Any discussion? Nobody thinks we should have more waste? Everybody good with this?
Controversial.
Controversial, all in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Next letter from Carolyn Brian Hirsch. Can someone move the item?
Second.
Thank you very much. Discussion? Go ahead.
I just would like to point out, I'd like to recognize that Brian and Tara have been waiting for this for a long time, and I'm excited to see the agenda and have a discussion about it. That's all for now.
So for gallery, just to be clear, this is about referring to staff to start working through the terms of what a short-term rental would look like, and it's going to come back for discussion again. So this is setting it in advance of the revenue committee saying, hey, get this going. We're going to get this going anyways because it's not a massive project, and staff can start compiling some recommendations. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Worship, and it is on our strategic plan for this year.
Absolutely.
So we absolutely have it on our schedule to work on it.
Okay, so from the gallery, any questions, comments? All right, all in favor?
Brian has something.
I'm sorry, Brian.
Brian Hirsch, just to say, I hope we get a favorable outcome from this. We've been somewhat patient at waiting for it. And we are abiding the rules, whereas others in around the place are not.
Can you tell us who's not? No.
Just a comment, I think that the letter was actually asking for a trial period.
Correct.
Am I?
Of course. Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna address first, is the trial period?
No, staff is gonna go and set up what the trial period might look like and come back to discussion.
So this, okay, just to clarify.
Okay.
So is that the only letter that we have on, to date on record? Okay.
For me, you
No, I mean, but your property is the only,
All the illegal ones haven't given us letters.
I wouldn't think so.
All right, all in favor?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry, there was one. Deb?
So with regards to that, then is there sort of a timeline that the Hirschers might be able to hear back to something? Is one thing to be able to say that it's looked at, but
Well, we have to refer back to staff, so any idea of workload and timeline for
I
recommendations?
was really hoping to be back in October, but I can't guarantee it. I'll do my best.
We have a goal.
And it's to you, Lorna, do you think it would be helpful if we sort of perhaps give some suggestions to the new policy, or before it comes back to us, or do you think it's better if staff work on this, comes back to us, and then we can talk about suggestions?
I think we would do it like that, but you can always provide input.
Okay, I'll send an email.
Never hurts to send it in the staff will compile it.
Yes.
And they can do a research that they'll say, here's municipalities that do the following, here's recommendations might be appropriate, and then we're discussing. If you've got ideas, feel free to send them in.
I do, I have lots of ideas. So I'll do that, I'll send it to email to all council and Lorna.
I agree with that. There's lots of municipalities that are out there that just aren't even relevant to Belcarra. We've got City of Vancouver, City of Richmond, that I just think shouldn't even be.
We don't go to the big ones.
Yeah. So I also have some ideas.
Okay. All right. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carries. Now we need to chair's letter. So, again, I'm not sure how best to do this, so maybe what we'll do is we'll do one paragraph at a time, if that's okay for you?
Well, sure.
All right,
I mean,
so,
most of them are just comments by me. I think my first question is, who said we hadn't had any firewall?
the pressure we're getting is from insurance. So if we could have our insurance pulled, if they should so choose. Bruce, want to go?
Yeah, I can also add a little context. The assessment of the halls was something that was undertaken under the previous council and the appointed trustees who were assessed by the fire department. So they felt it was time to have a look at them. So it's not something that was done just recently. It was done sometime about 2 years ago, I think it was originally approved. And the recommendation that came back is points out some glaring shortfalls in the current standards for fire halls. It's not surprising given the state we were in when they were originally built and put together.
So many municipalities, the big municipalities, you know, like fire halls that were built many years ago under different rules.
Yeah.
So is the whole lower mainland going to be building fire halls, or should we just put a cross brace in the one we have? And
No, ours has failed catastrophically. It's an 8-kilometer radius from the fire hall that the insurance rate is affecting. So our municipality is affected by one fire hall, where only community within a big municipality might be affected by a seismic fire hall.
Okay, and I guess
The biggest issue is seismic, isn't it?
Yes, it failed seismic.
And so the problem is that if the seismic is an issue, then the rescue vehicles could be
Will be
compromised.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the reason we're at risk. Now, we're not getting pressure to do something immediately.
yeah, I wonder how long we'll have.
I get the impression from Metro Van that they're trying to help us along, recognizing that that's not our first problem. Our first problem is to get water. We need water before we need to get that all done, but they're trying to help us move both along.
Okay, and can we sell the road ends that are upland?
So revenue committee is doing an exhaustive amount of work on every individual road and coming back with recommendations, and I hope we may see that in October.
But I don't know if they can get those answers. I think that only elected officials can probably legally get those answers as to whether we can say.
I'm not aware, so they're supposed to be, whatever they need answers to, they're supposed to be asking staff, and staff then are getting the answers set up for them. So have there been any questions at this point that you've not been able to answer?
We've been working on answering all the questions, Your Worship.
So they still don't have an answer as to whether or not we can sell them, and if we can, how we can use the money.
Your Worship? I believe the report that was originally done on road ends is quite clear about like which can be sold. There are lots of rules and regulations set out in that, but there are some that are quite feasible.
So, okay, and the waterfront one's a different story. Oh, okay. And will there be restrictions on how we can use that money?
Unknown at this point. And remember, I don't even go to the revenue committees. I try to stay on things, so I don't know what they've uncovered yet. But I think we need to wait for definitive guidance.
Yeah, like it seems like the committee's gone through a great deal of work, a lot of detail. And I think that before they complete their work, they should know if it's going somewhere. I'd like a clear answer on, yes, we can sell up land, and yes, we can put it into general revenue.
I can't give you the clear answer now. I can tell you I've heard that on the water side, you have to sort of restock whatever was transacted, and we have to be creative in how we might satisfy that. But without having a legal opinion with specific guidelines, it's impossible to give you an answer that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we might at some day come down to the waterfront ones, which are going to be more complicated, and there's been a suggestion that they're 66 feet wide, so take 16 feet, make a path down, cut 10 feet off the front of the water access for the people, you sell a 50-foot lot and do a tri-party water access for the owner.
I think they're going to be.
So I mean, there's all kinds of little funny ways to do it.
I totally agree. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what they brainstorm thus far, and we're going to have a chance to provide additional thoughts. The best part is that they're going to prioritize with the ones that we have early, easy access to sell.
Yeah, and when we have 31, if we sell 5 of them, it may give us our reserves and pay off our debt. Let's hope.
Absolutely.
I hope that we're looking very strongly towards paying off our water debt when the 10-year time comes.
Well, when the money comes in, it's going to debt.
Will it go first to the debt before the new water thing or whatever?
Yeah, we're going to pay off our credit card bill before we start taking up.
Because then if we can remain independent, you know, particularly of the Metro Vancouver group for financing, let's remain independent.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I'd like to see those road ends so easy. I'd like to feel financially sound very quickly, because right now we have rather a bad financial reputation.
No question.
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Ron, you had a comment? You wanted to make a comment?
Yeah, I was just wondering at what point do we get legal access? How legal advice and what we can do with the program?
As soon as council approves recommendations.
Okay.
As soon as council approves recommendations, if it's specific to policy, but if the revenue generating committee has a simple question and just asks for some budget so that we can get a decision that is obviously necessary for the recommendations, then Lauren and I talked, I'm comfortable with that, and to whatever limit that goes, and so we don't have to wait for a council meeting to allow an hour of legal work, for example. The goal is to empower them to get us a decision as quickly as possible. Well, Brian.
Oh, sorry, I'm a member of the Revenue Generation Committee. So the only comment I have is look forward with big anticipation for our next meeting, I think on the 17th.
Yeah, great. We're looking forward to it. Bring in champagne, you guys, no pressure. Lisa, you had a comment?
I just was going to refer back to Sherry. You had actually mentioned, Sherry, about tree trimming. Did you want to just mention that?
Well, I just, from my point of view, it seems so simple. If you live up land and you want to open your view and not cut down evergreen trees, but trim them up and take the other scrubby stuff below, I just don't think it's a big decision to be made by the whole community. I think keep it simple. If the neighbor doesn't want trees trimmed, keep their trees, or the municipality's trees, and not make it too complicated with bringing in what might be a good or bad neighbor with a different point of view. If you want your view, you should be able to have it, as long as you pay for it, the work to be done.
So I'll do a quick response to that. The committee, that's one of the things that the tree committee is mainly looking into. So not to have the approval of 10 neighbors on each side. That has been a lot of discussion on that subject, and I can't speak for the recommendation because it's not with us yet, so it's not ready. But there was a lot of talk about that, and most people in the committee seem to agree with your point of view there. So just wanted to let you know. Yeah. So yes, we'll be talking about it.
Okay. I will say from a guy who just had about 40 or 50 of his trees cut down by the neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Without my approval. I can see why people get tense about this, let me tell you, because I'm pretty thick.
Yeah.
But on the stuff that we're talking about, let's hope that people can remove their own bias from their own properties and take a look at this as a...
Yeah, private property is pretty well known as this.
Agreed. But I can see how they get emotional. The person who's going to shoot on me for a few years. All right. So we good to... Do we need to vote on this? Is the information?
No.
Okay. Consider them received. Information items. Is there anything rising out of the information item count we'd like to discuss? Quite a lot of them. From the gallery, did anybody want to pull anything out of the information items that was, no wait, yeah, that was it. So it's, please, yeah.
Is 812, is that referring to us?
So there's a bit of strategy with 812. So that letter that you will have seen from Chair Dollywall is in follow-up to the provincial government making a decision that Lions Bay and Bowen Island were not rural enough to gain access to the rural grant funds. We didn't take part in that initial request because we're more rural than Lions Bay. And I was hoping that if Lions Bay was granted without the pressure of Belcarra being considered by the government, it would give a better chance of Lions Bay being approved and we'd automatically be able to secure our approval after the fact. Only they said no to Lions Bay and Bowen Island. Chair Dollywall and I have discussed since then as well. And you notice the letter, it's a completely arbitrary decision that the province made, and he's challenging it. And he's going to try and get them to fix this and make it proper. And with the assumption that they'll be more reasonable if Belcarra's name isn't on that, we should be in really good shape once Lions Bay is approved for the grant funding. No problem. Anything else on the information items?
Sherry Chisholm, if we're designated rural, then we don't belong to Metro Vancouver?
No, we are already rural, and we're inside Metro Vancouver, but because we're inside of Metro Vancouver, we're not eligible for the rural grants.
So we can stay in but get the 100% grant?
No, that's what Metro Van is trying to enable.
Oh.
So, and the province said no.
Okay.
So that's what they're working on.
So what's the advantage to becoming rural then?
Well, we are rural, so the advantage of being rural is you're supposed to be able to have access to those rural grants, the rural grants. But they're using the excuse that because we're part of Metro Vancouver, we're not eligible. So we're trying, Metro Van is advocating on our behalf that we are in fact absolutely rural. That the umbrella model that Metro Vancouver offers should not preclude us from being funded with the same rural type of resources that for everybody else in British Columbia.
Well, kind of like we have a foot in both.
Well, no, because Metro Van doesn't fund much for us. And that's the punishing part, right? So Metro Van doesn't offer us special funds that that the rest of British Columbia really has access to.
So maybe we have to consider going totally rural out of Metro.
Yeah, the challenge with that is it doesn't guarantee that we've got access to the rural grant model if they're not accepting the fact that we're rural and not, is the generic response right now.
Okay, let's see what happens to Lions Bay, and go from there.
Well, yeah, Lions Bay, Bowen, you know, I think we're also starting to get a significant amount of support from Metro Van right now. They've been helping us with a lot of their resources in securing the engineering, managing the actual RFP process for the engineering firm that we just had. We have another RFP for a financial resource, and they're helping us with that as well. They've got a few other things they're sharing the resources. And we do get a fair amount of, let's call it, discounted labor with the fire department as well. So it's not as cut and dry as it being as completely a negative. There were some real benefits, but it's not clear, to your point. And I think we need to keep taking a look at all our options.
Yeah, I mean, I don't entirely give my heartfelt trust to Metro. The more dependent we are on them, I think it makes us more vulnerable. I'd like to be just our own little village, cook on our own goose.
Well, if there's one thing that will give you some confidence is that there's no history of forcing amalgamation. It wouldn't do anybody any good because it would only raise our taxes.
Well, of course, I also don't amalgamate with Portland.
But
So there is.
But I think in the more recent history,
Yeah.
and granted, we're number 147 of 154, so we're not the poorest municipality in the entire province.
No, but we have a lot of debt, so we're not looking real good to make.
Yeah, no one would really want to pick that debt up. So
Yeah.
there's other options besides amalgamation. It's just helping us to get out with the resource, discount the work necessary for us to climb out of this condition.
Good.
So that's what the tactics we're taking right now.
Good.
And they've been really good about that. They really have been good.
Excellent.
They have a brand new CAO starting November 1st, beginning his onboarding in October. That is where the writing is going to be. So I'm hopeful. Carol, the outgoing CAO, has been a fantastic support, and so I'm hopeful that rubs off and we have the same kind of relationship that we have here. Jerry's job was filled with gold. Working on it. Don't want to get his name wrong. I repeat him. Heavy D. Okay. Any council members for new business to discuss? Sorry, Bruce, did you put your hand up? No, you did. So here's where we have another opportunity for public question period. Anything else that anybody has in their mind? Yeah?
Just with regards to, are you allowed to say what happened with Linda Savage and that whole thing? That just seems very sad to hear about the young man getting charged $600.
Linda and I had an hour and 40-minute coffee on Friday, and she would be the first to say not all the information is in that letter. So it's a plan, and they're gonna continue to work through that. But that letter does not include all the information, and you wouldn't feel quite as badly if you had the rest of the info.
What's the background to that?
The letter? 2 cars